Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Have You Played, where I'm going to show you some spoiler-free gameplay from a selection of older games and give you my thoughts on them. In this video I'm playing CounterSpy, the 2.5D stealth action game that originally released in 2014. CounterSpy was developed by the now closed studio Dynamite, and it received really mixed feedback at its launch. Despite that, it was one of the first games I bought when I got my PS4, and I think the game is a lot better than people gave it credit for. Even 11 years later, it's still a really solid title, so let's talk about why. Set during an alternate Cold War, CounterSpy puts you in the role of an unnamed spy working for Counter, an organization dedicated to maintaining global stability. Your mission? Stop two world powers from nuking the moon. It's not a very narrative-heavy game beyond that, offering only some extra dialogue and context between missions, so it'll be up to you to fill in any gaps if you want to flesh it out a bit more. It's not really that type of game anyway though, as the focus is much more on the gameplay than the plot. CounterSpy is a 2.5D side-scrolling stealth action game with randomly generated levels available between two countries, and your main goal is to make it to the end of the area while collecting intel and avoiding detection. As you make your way through the levels, you'll encounter security cameras, different types of guards, and caches of intel and blueprints to collect. If you ever get caught or make too much noise, the DEFCON level will start to rise, and if it reaches level 1, a countdown to get to the end of the level will start, giving you one last chance to stop the launch before the game ends and you have to start the level over from the beginning.
Hostile fire! Look up. Who's there?
However, it's important to note that getting to the end of the level doesn't mean you've progressed the game's story, as you need to collect launch plans as well. So if you make it through a level without collecting any plans, all you've really done is given yourself a practice run and maybe some extra money to spend on new equipment. The level designs are clear and clever, getting progressively more populated and complex as the game goes on, and the gameplay itself keeps things interesting by letting you switch between stealth and action. Stealth is almost always going to be the best approach to take though, as getting caught can cause you to lose your life or inadvertently start a missile launch. The game strikes a good balance between the stealth and action, as early levels often allow you to slip through to the control room undetected, while later ones increase the challenge and make direct approaches seem like the better choice. Another cool thing about CounterSpy is how you can interact with objects in cover to shift the perspective into a more gun-friendly shooting angle. It gives you the opportunity to change your viewpoint and see guards that you may not have noticed beforehand, but the fixed camera angle can also result in the occasional frustrating moment, especially when they prevent you from aiming where you need to and forcing you to reposition yourself by going back out into the open. Sadly, online functions are no longer active within the game, but when they were available, you could see how you did compare to your friends on similar missions, and you were able to find rival agents, representing other real-world players who had failed their missions, which granted you a reward for locating them. These aspects were light additions to the game, and while I do miss them a little, it doesn't really take anything away from the experience with them no longer being there. If you really wanted to, you could play through the entire game with just your starting silenced pistol. However, as you progress, you'll unlock weapon blueprints and the option to buy formulas to change how you go about doing jobs. Some of the weapons include shotguns, automatic rifles, and tranquilizer guns, while some of the formulas let you lower the DEFCON level before starting a mission, or grant you some resistance to gunfire and explosives. In order to access these, you have to find blueprints or formula pages hidden throughout the levels, which are usually stored within optional or out-of-the-way areas. However, opening some of the vaults can be loud, so it's advised to take out any nearby guards before you do so to avoid detection. On the presentation side, CounterSpy nails its art style and atmosphere. The minimalist and stylized visuals give it a unique look while still being reminiscent of classic spy fiction such as The Man from U.N.C.L.E. or the Sean Connery-era Bond films. The music is also another highlight, with jazzy tunes setting the mood and really complementing the game's 60s spy vibe. With regards to bugs and glitches, I didn't run into too many problems, even when I first played the game in 2014, aside from a few instances of ragdolling enemy bodies clipping through platforms. Otherwise, performance is still holding up well, with no major slowdowns, crashes, long load times, or any other issues. CounterSpy may not have been a critical hit when it launched in 2014, however, it's a surprisingly solid game that still holds up today. It's not the longest title you'll ever play, with a single playthrough being doable within about 2 hours, but with its random level generation, mix of stealth and action, and the opportunity to purchase new weapons and formulas to change the way you play, it offers a lot of replay value, as well as a lot of entertainment value. Like I said at the start of the review, the development studio is unfortunately no longer in business, but their website says that they'd love to reunite someday to develop CounterSpy 2, so let's keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best, because they did a really great job with this game. As always though, this is just my opinion. Whether you're just starting your career as a spy, or you've already managed to prevent the moon's destruction, let me know in the comments what you think of CounterSpy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.